Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be watching or listening to us from. This is the Naija FC podcast where we bring you our raw, honest, unfiltered opinions on all the hottest and latest topics in the world of Nigerian football. As always, my name is Ayoti, and I have with me once again my co-host.
Smith thank you guys for joining again.
Yes, Smilai, another Monday, another episode of the Naija FC podcast. The season is officially on the way. If your league hasn't started, then or and you've not played cup game as well, because some countries played cup games, then I don't know what you are doing. Because almost all the leagues are active right now. Lots of Nigerian players, it was nice for me to have a little bit of a break in the summer where I was mostly focused on Super Falcons and national team games. But now the leagues are back in action. This weekend we tracked about 157 matches. Um, so it was a full weekend for us monitoring the performances of different Nigerian players. So, like, before I get into weekend review, without talking about any specifics, what are you looking forward to in this 2025-2026 season?
For me, what I'm looking forward to is that I want our players to perform at a very high level. I want our players to do well. I just want to see Nigerian players performing well. That gives me joy. As I'm talking to you now, there's a Nigerian player doing well, currently. So, I just want them to perform well. And that's the most important thing.
Mm. I mean,
If we are going to specifics, I can go to individual,
yeah.
but don't
But
generalize.
I mean, it's an interesting season. A lot of things that maybe we thought were going to happen did not quite happen in the summer, but we have to embrace what we have and we have to, enjoy it as it is. I'm really looking forward to seeing which Nigerian players can break out this year. We're just joking with Akor Adams. Akor, this might be a year for him to really solidify himself. His first season in Sevilla was an injury-laden season, so he didn't really get to play. But before we get into talk about individual players, I want to highlight the different Nigerian players who performed well over this weekend. We tracked 157 matches over the weekend, and yeah, let me get into that conversation. One goalkeeper that we paid attention to was Chijoke Anagboso, who kept a clean sheet and made one save for FC Chonomet Odessa in the Ukraine. Defenders Calvin Bassey, 2 tackles, 6 goals, one for Fulham. Kingsley Madu kept a clean sheet while making 3 tackles, winning 5 goals and making 10 clearances for MFK Zemplin. Kingsley Ehizbue played today and kept a clean sheet with 2 chances created and 7 goals, on for Udinese in the Coppa Italia. Zedu Sanusi, their game is still on as we're having this podcast, but it looks like he's set to get a clean sheet. He got 1 assist in the game. I'm happy for him because he started, and kudos to him. Hopefully, he can get back into the starting 11 this year. We also had Jonathan Torunariga with 4 goals, 4 clearances for Hamburger. Osinachi Ohali was on target for Pachuca in Mexico. Michael Ologo with a clean sheet, 5 clearances, and 6 goals, one for Istanbulspor. We had Joseph Olo was on target, also won 5 goals for Stockport in the English League One. Uba Charles was on target for Mjällby in Sweden. Gabriel Osho kept a clean sheet, made 2 tackles, 2 blocks, and won 5 goals for AJ Auxerre in France. Uche Arerezim kept a clean sheet with 3 goals, one for Sparta Praha. Olaoluwa Aino, 2 tackles, 7 clearances, 8 goals, one for Nottingham Forest in their season opening victory. Over to the midfield, Tochukwu Nadi, 2 tackles, 3 interceptions, 4 clearances, and 5 goals, one for Zolta Waragem. We had Ibrahim Olawoyin with 3 tackles, 5 dribbles completed, 15 goals, one big performance for Kaiko Rizespor in Turkey. Francis Ebuka with 1 assist for Spartak Subotica. Kayode Salomon with 1 goal for FK Vojvodina. Adam Yakubu, 4 goals, 5 chances created for AS Trenchin in Slovakia. And then Adewale Oladoye was on target for Dynamo Brest in Belarus. And then over to the forwards, Solomon John was hat-trick hero for Mlada Boleslav in the Czech Republic. Alex Iwobi, 3 chances created for Fulham in England. Bamidele Yusuf with 1 assist for FK Vojvodina. We had Elijah Odede with a goal for Sheriff in Moldova. Taufik Ismail, 1 assist for Gonik Zabzi in Poland. Sani Suleiman, 2 dribbles, 5 chances created, 7 goals won for AS Trenching. Olakunle Olusegun, 1 goal and 4 dribbles completed for FC Paris in Russia. Emmanuel Lume also scored 2 goals for FC Zurich in Switzerland. Chinwendu Hezo also scored 1 goal for Pachuca. Gift Monday got an assist for Washington Spirits in the USA. Chukwudi Igboke scored 1 goal for České Budějovice in the Czech Republic. AGK Okpara, 1 goal and 1 chance created for FK Novi Pazza. Stephen Alfred was on target for Torpedo Bellas. Emeka Eze was on target for Korum in Turkey. Meshak Ubochioma scored his first goal for Kazim Bachika. Chrisantus Uche, 1 goal and 1 assist for Getafe in Spain in the La Liga. Geoffrey Chinedu with 1 goal for Astana. Akor Adams with 1 assist for Sevilla. Moses Uso, 1 goal and 1 assist for Lask. Michel Alozie, 1 goal for Houston Dash. And then Parobo Arieri with 1 goal for John Dalen. Okay, long list of performance, long list of Nigerian players. Smilai, who impressed you the most over the weekend?
I have to pick Chrisantus. If you are picking anybody apart from Uche Chrisantus, it might be due to emotion. He was fantastic, in that game against Celta Vigo. He ran them ragged, He bullied them, And that performance reminds me of the Amokashi performance in the game, a bully, like a bull. I'm not gonna call it a bully, a bull. He bullied the what they call this, like we do defenders, come on, he's very. I was really impressed with him. And for me, I don't know your star of the week. I'm tipping him to probably be the star of the week. I think maybe you have a different idea. I don't know about
Star of
that.
the week will be revealed tomorrow. Don't worry.
Okay, but for me, it's gonna be a big surprise. I don't put it really on you if it's not Chrisantus Uche. I have to also highlight. I don't know. Okay, Uche is actually my favorite player.
Okay. I mean, I have to give credit to Solomon John. Scored 3 goals from Lada Boleslav in the Czech Republic. Two of the 3 goals were very, very good finishes and quite good goals. So I give him credit for that. He's a relatively unknown player, so maybe he can have a breakout year this season. From there, maybe he can join the Sparta Pragues or the Slavia Pragues or one of the top Czech teams. I also want to shout out Tochukwu Nadi. Steady this season. This is the 3rd game of the Belgian Pro League season, and he's been doing quite well. He's got into their starting 11, putting in quality performances. They lost the game 1-0 against Club Brugge, but he was very good in the game. He was very good in the game. Oyedika only came on in the second half of that one. Olaino is back to doing what Olaino does. We already saw the fantastic year that he had with Forest. There were a lot of rumors about maybe he's going to leave, maybe he's going to go somewhere. He stayed with Nottingham Forest and he's back again doing a fantastic job. I'm expecting another big season for Olaino, one of our most reliable Nigerian players. We know what he's going to give you week in, week out, and also when he plays for the Nigerian national team. Fantastic player. And yeah, there's a couple other players that I can highlight here and there. But if we start getting into everybody, we're not going to get into any other topic today. I want to ask about a couple players, though, Smithline. So our own Wilfred Ndidi. Wilfred Ndidi made his debut for Besiktas in a dramatic 2-1 victory for his side. They scored a last-minute goal. How do you feel about Wilfred Ndidi? I don't know if you saw the performance. I was looking on social media after the game. A lot of the Besiktas fans were saying, yes, this is the kind of player we need. He has the right profile. They are happy with him. How do you feel about Wilfred Ndidi now that he has made his Besiktas debut?
Yeah, I was impressed that at least this start from the bench. He's starting directly to show that the manager really actually wants Wilfred. His manager scouted him for so long. So I think he knows exactly what he's going to get from Wilfred Ndidi. So I'm happy he's doing well. Against which team again? Elospo, is it?
Eyipspor.
Okay, Eyipspor. With due respect, ILT, Eyipspor is not Crystal Palace, but you play against those in front of you. So, and I'm happy for him. but it's a drop, to the level that is. That's what I would say. So is I don't know. Maybe until you are still fit to play for USPA, but I know that the opposition is less compared to even a championship opposition. Yes,
I mean,
but
the only
lose.
thing that I would say is that our best player is also playing against the youth sports.
Yeah, yes, and Kararugu.
So
Yes.
we cannot. I think who did these people play? They played against Karamguruk
Mm-hmm.
this past weekend. So,
Karanguruk, okay.
so we cannot complain about the played against the youth sport. It's who
Mm-hmm.
you have in front of you that you can beat.
You can beat, yes.
But yeah, shout out to Wilfred Ndidi. Looking forward to
Yeah,
seeing more of him this season.
yeah,
And at least, even if we're not happy about the level in Turkey, the least you can do is go there and be the superstar.
yeah,
And it looks like he's going to, at least from his first game, it looks like he's ready to do that.
yeah. They
Okay.
really like him there.
Yeah, they really liked him. Okay, let's talk about another player. This one, he's a friend of the house. In fact, I have his jersey hanging behind me. Moses Simon, he made his debut for Paris FC in the French League One. Paris FC, of course, newly promoted side. Simon made a move from Nantes to Paris FC. They fell to a defeat in their first game. It wasn't the best performance by Moses Simon. I will say that things were not quite working out for him. Even though the opponents that they played, got a red card from like the 57th minute, they weren't able to get the equalizer. But Smilai is seeing Moses Simon in new colors, playing for a new badge. Are you excited about what he can do for Paris FC this season, or do you think that considering that they are a new team in the French League One, this might be a tough season for him? How do you feel?
It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough, and they are low budget PSG. They are signing players that their money can, they can afford. And when I saw when Simon playing for Paris FC, it's like seeing Messi. Playing for PSG. You are used to Simon wearing that yellow color. Suddenly, it just changed. So I expect him to struggle slightly because it's new to that terrain, it's new environment, new everything. But 2-3 games in the season, I think Simon will continue to impress. But another thing too is that I don't know. It was just a sideways movement. It wasn't upward trajectory. You have to be honest with ourselves. But let's hope that he performs well. These are the four games.
I'm pretty sure his bank account is moving upward though.
Yeah, bank account is moving upward. Sometimes when you just come back from Nigeria for holidays, all those pandemium output will still be there. But 2-3 games in, Simon will start.
I mean, new teammates, new environment. He has
Yeah.
moved to Paris, so he needs to acclimatize a little bit. And I'm sure once, I don't doubt what Simon can do. It's a new team, but he's been running the French League One lagged for a number of years. It wasn't a good game in the first match, but I'm sure that he's going to have better games. And I think that if Paris FC are going to stay up, then Simon is going to play a key role.
So he's not to stay up.
What is he?
He used to stay up now.
I mean, even Nantes, where they used to enter relegation wahala sometimes now.
With that money they are spending, so he's to stay up.
I mean, if you're a newly promoted side, the first thing is stay up. Then when you stay up, you can establish yourself and go for Europe and go for other things. But your first job is to stay up.
Just like Resam now. They are already fighting.
Yeah, exactly. And they too have spent money in England.
I've spent money too, yes.
So yeah, the first job is to stay up. But I'm interested in seeing how Simon does there. Simon had been subject of reported transfers for a long time. Finally made a move, stayed in France, but it could be an interesting season for him. Let's wait and see how that.
I want to ask you a question.
Okay, go on.
Reported transfer. Who is reporting the transfer?
Different outlets now. We see it.
Yeah.
Different outlets.
It's not own goal that is linking him to different things.
Look, I don't make the news. I see the news and I consume the news.
Yes. Yeah, we have to read the news too. I understand.
Yeah. So sometimes you don't. Is the way the world works today. Social media is hard to know exactly what is true and what is not.
Not true.
But my own job is just to see the news and maybe I talk about it, maybe I don't. But yeah. Okay. Moving forward quickly, let's talk about another player. Speaking of Moses Simon, speaking of Nats, Chidozie Awaziem made his second debut for FC Nantes. They fell to a narrow defeat against PSG. PSG did not look like the regular PSG in that game, to be fair. But
Mm-hmm.
I also felt like Awaziem and Nantes did a good job. Their defense looked organized. He was commanding. Oh, he was unlucky that the goal that PSG eventually scored deflected off him.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not. It wasn't an own goal, so I'm not going to take it away from him. I think he still had a good performance. After playing in Boavista for a couple of years, going to the USA and coming back to the French League One, Awaziem looks like he can hold his own in this league. Of course, first game of the season, there's still a lot of time to go. But Smilai, what were your thoughts on Awaziem's debut against PSG?
Really impressed, though I didn't start that game because I watched Akor Adams because my man. But I saw after I saw the second half did well. I don't know how to use did well, and I like him was very solid. Commanding. I don't know if he can speak French, but I can see him shaking his mouth. So maybe he didn't forget his French, but good. Their king left for Paris. They have a prince now. That's
In Chidozie Awaziem.
Awaziem. So I'm really impressed. I hope that it's not just PSG. When they face Auxerre, when they face Metz, he can also
Yeah.
perform brilliant. Because sometimes when you play against a big team, it motivates you to
You
do
up your
well.
level because you're
You up
playing
your
against a
level.
tough team.
So if against Auxerre, against Strasbourg, I hope that he can also perform this level.
Is that consistency that we're looking
Guys
for.
are looking for, yeah.
Because we spoke about it the other week, maybe 2 weeks ago, about whether or not he has a chance to return to the Super Eagles.
Uh-huh.
And September might be too close, who knows? But we also have some injury concerns, so maybe he can sneak in.
Yeah.
But if he continues like this, because the other options that you think of, Igor Obu, I think he got.
I
If I'm not
think he has
mistaken, I
ahead
think
of Figo.
yeah, I think Igor from maybe got injured in this last game. I might be getting that mixed up. But even this season has not been a good season for him so far. Benjamin Frederick, now that he's playing first team, this season has not yet taken off for him the way we hope that it will take off for him. So if somebody is doing well in the French League One, I mean, Gabriel Osho has also had a good first game of the season for Auxerre. Those guys might, Awaziem Osho might get ahead of the Eagles and
Balogun.
Frederick. Leon Balogun as well. But Leon Balogun, I mean, the quality of the league there is a little bit of a question. But for Osho and for Awaziem, you can't really question the quality of their league. It's a top 5 league in Europe, and probably the world. Okay, let me also ask you about this guy. We already hinted and spoke about him a little bit, but let's get into a little bit of detail. Sorry, not Olaino. Wrong picture. Chrisantus Uche. Chrisantus Uche, 1 goal, 1 assist, man of the match performance. Remember that first game of the season last year, he also scored. And then this time he said, "No, I'm not just going to score. I'm going to give an assist as well." I've seen the La Liga social media accounts have been hyping him up. Getafe have been hyping him up. There were a lot of reports. A lot of people thought that he might leave Getafe in the summer, but he stayed with them. In fact, gave him a new jersey number, everything, and he has paid them off at least for this first game with a quality performance. So, what did you think about his performance, and what are your expectations for Uche in this season?
So I think it's too early to say that he will stay with them. There might still be discussions towards the end, and sometimes, towards the end of the transfer window, the team can just gather momentum.
So you think he can still live in the next 2 weeks?
He can still live. He can still live. But let's just focus about the game. I was really impressed with what he did. And I think he saw someone that is getting more mature. Last year was his proper season, and you said that you keep on hammering that. So for people are correcting you here that IoT, go and revisit your comment. Last year was his proper professional first season, in top flight, and I was really impressed with what he did. But now it's like trying to take the game now by himself. He wants to be the Getafe main man. That's what I can see from him. He's trying to do everything. And as soon as if you continue like this, I think it won't be long before big clubs take note of him. And maybe probably moving to Atletico Madrid.
Hmm. I mean, I like the fact that he's improving as a player. He
Mm-hmm.
looks like he wants to do more. He looks like he wants to add newer elements to his
Mm-hmm.
game.
Mm-hmm.
And Getafe are giving him everything that he needs in terms of support and in terms of that trust. They
Mm-hmm.
love him. They believe that he has what it takes. And they
Yeah.
want him to go and do it for them. And I
Mm-hmm.
love to see it. When a Nigerian player gets the keys like that,
Mm-hmm.
it's fantastic to see. The guy is a workhorse. He's strong. Gradually last season you could see his vision and his eye for a pass improving as the season went on. I don't want to get too carried away. It's only one game. Like we said, last season he also scored on the first game. I'm not expecting a 10 goal, 10 assist season from him. If he does numbers like that, that would be amazing. That would be
Mm-hmm.
fantastic. But Uche is really coming to his own. He's really showing himself. I think that everyone in the La Liga by now would have taken note of him and would be keeping close eyes on him. And if he continues like this year can really be a breakout year for him in terms of actually being known in Europe. He won the Eagle Striker Revelation of the season for last season, but
Mm-hmm.
that's amongst Nigerian players. This can be a year that he breaks out amongst all the players in Spain or even gets a lot of eyes on him from other countries in Europe. So I'm really, really excited for him. I like Chrisantus Uche. He's a good player. And he's somebody that if he can continue working hard and continue improving like this, a lot that he can achieve. A lot that he can achieve. He just needs to make sure that he always finds himself at a club that can bring out the best in him. You know,
Yeah.
um, he's one of those players that right now I don't necessarily see him playing for like a really attack-minded big club.
Mm-hmm.
But you mentioned Atletico Madrid, a team like that, big club, but not the most attack-minded team. He has all the tools that can fit into that kind of team, and
Yeah.
still be a good player. But interestingly enough, Getafe has been a very good training ground for him to actually come into his own as a professional and to show that he's a quality player. And for people
Mm-hmm.
that are telling me that I should go and revisit my opinion, I've never once said that he wasn't a good player. My thing had always been about the midfield position. He doesn't play midfield for his club, so I don't want him to play midfield for Nigeria. Do I think that he deserves to be in the Super Eagles squad? Yes, I do. I said it before the Unity Cup as well. I do think that he has earned the spot in the Super Eagles squad. I just don't think that he's coming to play midfield because you hear some people say he should replace Ndidi or he should replace Onyeka, things like that. And I don't think that that's where he plays for us. If he's playing behind our striker, if he's supporting, yes, he can get into the Super Eagles squad, no problem. But again, I don't think that I have anything to revisit in my position. Probably you just did not understand my position. That's why you're saying that.
But let me just ask you a question about him. You know how Eric Shea played in the two competitive games to play for Nigeria in the Super Eagles, not the Chan team. He played a diamond formation like with Adama Lukman at the top of that diamond. So do you think that Uche can play on top of that diamond for Nigeria?
Honestly, it's hard for me to say yes. I can't lie. Okay, when you say play, if you say play in general, yes. If you say start, I'll probably say no. Because the tools that he brings versus what the other players that might be preferred there bring, I think are different. We're a very attack-minded team. We're not a team that wants to play on the counter attack. We're a team that wants to possess the ball and
Mm-hmm.
wants to keep the game to our opponents. I
Mm-hmm.
need to see more of him in that kind of scenario.
Mm-hmm.
He's a very good on the break player. He's a very good player when he's running at people, when he has that kind of space, when the defense is unsettled. I need to see him when his team is just passing the ball side to side, maintaining possession. I need to
Mm-hmm.
see him in that kind of scenario. What can he do when he has a solid back four, back five in front of him, and he needs to make things happen? That's the situation that I haven't quite seen him do yet. If you look at most of the goals and the assists that he gets, it's usually on a break.
Mm-hmm.
He has the chance to run, he finds a pass, the defense is
Mm-hmm.
not in position. But
Mm-hmm.
for Nigeria, at least until we, by the grace of God, go to the World Cup, most of the players or the teams that we're going to be facing we are going to be the better side, and they will be organized against us. They will put a strong, compact defense in front of us. If he can do that and show me more, then I can say, okay, yes, you can give him as the first option there. But for now, I think he deserves to be part of the squad. I don't think that he has quite earned a starting shirt yet. Especially if you are saying that he used Lookman there. Can he bench Lookman? No.
No, he used Lookman. For example, now Lookman is at the top of that diamond. Then there's two players up front, which is Moses Simon and Victor Osimhen. Sometimes you can easily put Lookman to where Simon plays, because Simon cannot play where Lookman plays, because Simon final ball is not good that much. But Lookman can still do something with the final ball and still dangerous to try and possess the ball. So I was thinking that since you have mentioned things like, is he good on the ball? Try to dictate the pace of the game. So I think I also have my doubts there. But when we are under pressure, he can come, hold up play, drive the team forward. I think Rashid was right on that area.
Yeah. But he's a very exciting player, and
yeah, good player to watch. Yeah,
we just a lot of times Nigerian fans, or maybe football fans in general, they get excited by a new player and they don't realize that players need time to grow and develop. I have no doubts that Uche will continue to develop and will become a very good player. But this is only his second season as a professional. So he's started very well, but people should also have some patience and allow him to develop these other sides of his game. And if he works hard on it, it will come. It will come. Very good, and seems like a nice, hardworking young man. So I'm excited to see what happens with him. This season, last season he got 4 goals and 6 assists. This season,
10 goals involvement.
Yeah, this season, if he can give us 15 goals involvement, that would be better output, and still do the same work that he does in terms of working hard and recovering the ball and holding it up for his team. I'm sure Getafe will be happy for him. The only thing is that Getafe have said this guy is not a center midfielder. they've decided that he's not a center midfielder, so we have to accept that as well, because now then they pay him money last.
Yeah.
Okay. I think those are the players that we're going to touch from this past weekend.
Sorry,
any other person you want us to talk about?
I just want to talk about Akor Adams.
Okay,
what I saw the social media post that welcome Babajide number 9. I don't think it was number 9 before. I don't know who won number 9 for them last year. Was he Anacho?
Was he Anacho number 9?
Last year, I think it was.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. So I was really happy. When I said, Babajide number 9, I knew he's going to start the game. So I was really actually impressed. What even impressed me more about Akor Adams is that his footwork. For a big man, like that, you don't really see Nigerian player trying to do step overs. You don't see Nigerian strikers trying to do step overs. We only have wingers, Lookman, Simon, Chukwueze trying step overs. The only player we have trying step overs was the guy in the Leverkusen, Victor Boniface. But unfortunately things are not really going well for him now. But I just like someone that can play with the ball. Do your normal job playing with the ball. And I think Akor Adams is giving me that vibes. I know that I think he probably, I'm not sure, maybe you can get me right though. I think he probably made the professional list for the game in September. But it will be a good inclusion if Akor Adams is included. I would really like that.
And yeah, you are right. Kelechi was their number 9 last season.
Okay.
Akor was wearing number 15.
Well, why you did?
I mean, it's obvious that Kelechi is not part of their plans for this year, so allow somebody that is part of the plans to
educate to child. So UK did well too.
Yeah,
Chidi. Yeah.
We can't talk about every single player,
Everybody,
but otherwise we'll be here for 2 weeks. Okay. Any other player that you want us to talk about, or that's it?
No, because of time, let's just try and move on.
The women are still in preseason, but when the women get back to it, of course, we're going to be highlighting the women as well. New clubs for our women. Babajide Ajibade is about to join a new club. Chidozie has joined a new club. So it's going to be an exciting year for our women as well. So yes, watch out for that one. Okay. Speaking of Babajide Akintola has joined Hull City in the EFL Championship on a 2-year deal, and he made his debut against Oxford United. Smelai, this is another player that is following in the footsteps of Bright Osai Samuel, leaving the Turkish Super League to go to the English Championship, the second division in England. How do you feel about this move? You know, Akintola has been doing his thing in Turkey for a little while now, has never been a popular name for Nigerian fans. Do you think now that he's playing in England in the Championship, teammate of Shemi Ajayi, can this put him in the faces of Nigerians, or what do you think?
I think he's a good player. You know, not even. I think he once played in Norway.
Yes, he played in Norway.
With Samuel Akinbenro. I remember
Samuel Akinbenro.
Yes, he's the guy. So a very good player, very good player. Just a guy that needs opportunity to actually work, to perform, and to do well. You know, now he reminds me of Igalo's move. You know, when Igalo moved to Watford in the second division in Championship, we're thinking that Championship move, but they took Watford and they got promoted. So all City really invested heavily, you know, this summer, and I think that they see him as a good, you know, a guy that can actually take them, you know, actually would help them where as they're chasing promotion. I think he's a guy that if he can perform well with all City, gain promotion, I think he might even get to the Super Eagles ahead of before Chubako. That's it.
Aquam, I'm sure Aquam has stopped, has stopped worrying himself. Aquam is also in the Championship, of course. But it's an interesting one, you know. Of course, there's a bit of competition for the forward places in the Super Eagles. The regulars are there in the Lukmans, the Simons, the Chukwuezes. You know, there are people like Philip Otele who has been doing well, who people are starting to talk more about. So he has to really play well for Hull City to really be considered.
Not in the Championship, I think in the
if he does get to the Premier League, you know. But I mean, sometimes playing, if Eric Shell is going to be watching Shemi Ajayi, he might as well also just be watching his teammates who is there. And
they're whichever because we don't have options.
I mean, but whichever way, no busy somebody that got called up to Unity Cup. Is it not they just called him from academy because the game was in his stadium? They said he should come and play. The other one, the game was in his country. They said he should come and play. So right now, you just pray to God that your Super Eagles club can come. So who knows? Maybe
there's also a guy
that's friendly now. Maybe we come and play internationally in Hull.
Yeah, before you know, I think there's also one player. He's called Fami Ewo in that All City. I don't know. He used to play for Liverpool before. A very good player too. Young player. I hope that he can actually also do well too. I think there are 3 of them in All City now.
It's going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be interesting. I'm not going to be watching too much of Hull City, but I'm going to be keeping track on their games and seeing how they do. You know, I'm watching too many low leagues. I don't want to watch too many second division games. Just if they have a big game or if they're playing against a team with another Nigerian, then I'll probably watch the game.
I think you need to tell your audience you're behind the scene. You need to take them to how did you get to do all these things? You have to be able to take them behind the scene.
So really know
maybe the members of the channel.
The effort. So I have to think of a way to tell the story properly and to present it. You know, so it's going to be interesting, but one day we'll get there. But it's always an interesting time during the weekend. I'm constantly, that's when I'm just staring at my iPad or staring at my TV, my laptop the entire day. I watch as many games as I can. The ones that I can't watch, I'm looking at their performances. After the game, I'll go on Y Scouts or something and go and watch all their actions and just see how they did. The amount of money that I've paid to Y Scouts, because that is not cheap. That is not cheap. A year, I think, for a year of Y Scouts, depending on how you negotiate with them, what kind of package you sign up for, but it's like 2,000 euros or something. No, it's a lot of work, man. That's why sometimes if I come and say something now, one person that maybe they only watch them play 2 matches will not come and be arguing with me. It's in their ways annoying me small because I'm like, come on now, like I spend too much time, money, effort, everything following these guys. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see a lot of people are talking to us. If you want us to highlight your comments, if you want us to answer your question, do not forget to send your comments with a super chat. That's a way that you can support the channel a little bit, the efforts that we put in, the work that we do, and the content that we create. So please, if you like to support, send a super chat, or if you like to ask a question or leave a comment that you want us to address or highlight on the screen, make sure you send the super chat. And God bless you as you do so. Also, at this point, I will make the final call. If you are on X, formerly known as Twitter, if you're on Facebook, if you're on Instagram, please, please, please make sure you switch over to YouTube now. Go and join us on YouTube. Search for Eagles Tracker NG on YouTube and join the live stream there. The stream is going to end on your platform in the next 2 minutes. So please switch over to YouTube right now so that you can enjoy the full show. Switch over to YouTube right now, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share with a friend so that we can get one more person from you. Thank you very much. Okay, Smilai, let's get into the other talk for this week.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if you saw this. I didn't send this to you before the stream, but there's an MPFL player, Adewale Adeyinka,
Mm-hmm.
who was reported by his club for alleged betting activities.
Yes.
Did you
I
see
know
the,
that.
you saw
I
you
know the story. I know the story.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
I've never seen that before. That I normally hear that the controlling body are investigating certain players for betting. Maybe probably they realize that it is something. But for your club to want to investigate you and report you like this, I think there's something big. Is something big. And maybe it's due to money to the club because I think he's trying to leave the club.
Mhm.
But I just think that is a big thing. And this reminds me of something actually what happened in the past. Fatah Dauda, the former Enyimba goalkeeper, he said that when he was in Enyimba, he was the Kenyan goalkeeper to the 2014 World Cup. He said that when he was in Enyimba, he said that the Enyimba players will be celebrating after a game that their bets, they won their bets because they just bet on the game they went to go and play.
Hmm.
So I think it's a big, big thing that we need to actually World Cup. For me, it's really, really embarrassing. And if he's found guilty that he placed a bet on the game he's involved in, he should be sanctioned for life.
Hmm. Is it even only if it was a game that he was involved in or any game at all? Because I know
Any
that
game,
the
if
rules
it's
the rules do not allow for gambling of any sort, whether you are involved in the match or you're not involved. But I think for me, what I found the most interesting is for you to be reported by your club. Does that mean that you are fixing?
yeah,
You mentioned that it can be because he's trying to leave and maybe the club is not happy about that.
mm-hmm,
But if you are just betting, your
mm-hmm,
club might not necessarily report you because okay, it's not affecting them. It's only if you are betting and then you are going to concede goals, in order for bets to win, or you are working with some of these criminal organizations that fix matches and things like that. I don't know. I saw the news. I found it very interesting and very weird at the same time. I'm not even saying it as a knock on the Nigerian league because it's not only in the Nigerian league that things like this happens. Even in England, in the lower leagues, things like this
mm-hmm,
happen. In
mm-hmm.
other countries, in Albania, I remember I did an interview with Peter Olayinka many years ago, and he spoke about how in Albania, the kind of match fixing that they used to do, they will come and tell you we are losing by 2 goals today.
Uh-uh.
And you as a player, you go just dey look over what can you do? If you
Mm.
don't try too hard, they will vex for you because maybe it might be like one of the owners of the club or one of the leadership people that has gone to place the best. No be even the players where they fix. You
Because
know.
they have to pay them their salary now. If they don't fix myself, they pay them.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So, it happens everywhere. But this one, what I
Mm-hmm.
just found interesting was the fact that he was reported by the club. Hopefully, it turns out to be nothing for him because if he's found guilty, I'm not sure what the punishments are like in Nigeria, but at least you'll be suspended for a while. You won't be able to play football for a while. It will affect
Mm-hmm.
his livelihood. And even when you want to return, unless you are a very good player,
Mhm.
this thing can damage your reputation, and people might not want to take a chance on you in the future.
Yeah,
So,
I know. I think in the past, Nigerians they have suspended players before, and you know what happened when they suspend them in the Nigerian Premier League? They go to Benin Republic. That's what they do. They go to Benin
but
Republic and go and they go to Ivory Coast and go and play.
hmm, I mean,
So,
somebody has to want you in those countries.
hmm hmm
But
yeah,
let's see how that goes for him, Sha.
yeah, yeah. We hope that
We'll wait to see if we hear any information about the way the investigation has gone.
yeah.
Okay, speaking of the MPFL, speaking of home-based players,
hmm
Smiglai, of course, it's no news by now that the Chan Eagles have been knocked out of Chan 2024 after
Yes,
falling to that heavy defeat against Senegal. But they have one more
yeah,
match against Congo.
yes.
The match is now just, maybe you can call it a formality. You are
hmm
obliged to go and play the game, but there's really nothing to play for other than your own pride.
hmm
What are you
Yeah.
expecting in this game? Do you think they're just going to go and enjoy themselves? Do you think that now that they have nothing to lose, they might put in a better performance than we've seen? How do you feel about this one?
So I think it's a really, really embarrassing outing, and I think that in fact, because they lost the two games, the first two games, I think it's now even important for them to get something, out of this game, even if it's a draw, just to live with pride, because the pride of the country is at stake. And it's just a show of shape, to be honest with you. So I just think that they will go to this game and maybe probably actually what try and save their face and get result. I listened to the press conference of Eric Shell. Said that there will be changes in the team. Maybe probably those that they didn't play initially will now have the chance to actually play in this game and be able to prove themselves. So I just think that this game is more or less like playing for the scouts to see maybe they can see one or two scouts and pick those players. Maybe probably for foreign clubs. There's no $100,000 for this disgraceful chanting. In my opinion, very embarrassing team. There's no K for them. There's no government largesse for them. So they have to go. In fact, and go and bury their head in shame. No, there will be no drums for them at the airport. There'll be no, this water splash, for them at the airport. There'll be nothing. In fact, if there's a punishment at the airport, they should be
There's no punishment.
meted on. It should be meted on them, for this national embarrassment. If there's a punishment, it should be meted on them. Maybe probably they should delay them, or one else that should stop them from going down the flight or any. I don't know what they will do to them
Yes,
because it's not really they really perform well in this tournament. So well, I don't know if you can ask me further questions, but I think it shows that our league is poor. I don't know if you played back in Nigeria. Our pride is to want to dribble. None of them can dribble to save their life. To even stop the ball is difficult. I don't know how they turn professional. I don't know. But we still say these things, and some of them will still come and attack us that we're trying to ridicule our pro league players. It's a big shame, IoT, that we're going out this way.
I mean, it is indeed quite a shame. What can I say, man? I keenly paid attention to the tournament, expecting to see the quality of the MPFL, like some of our dear friends tell us that the
hmm
quality exists, but
hmm
there's not been much to report on. There's not been much to
hmm
be excited about. I understand that because of the organizational and administrative factors in the league, it is hard for us to retain our best talent. Yes, we know
hmm
that.
hmm
But the talent that exists there now, if we're truly saying that this is the best that we can offer, then you have to say that we have a long way to go. Like, we honestly have a long way to go. My most disappointing thing about this tournament is not even the defeat, is the time that Eric Shell has wasted.
hmm
Honestly, the time that he could have been spending. Right now, we should be in Europe going to watch different players to
hmm
see how they are doing at the start of the season, or
Yeah.
sitting down and putting his team together and making sure that they have everything that they need, organizing whatever it is that they need to organize in advance of
hmm
camp. It's not that when it's time for camp now, they'll start scrambling. Oh, is this thing around? Is this person available? Things like that. I'm making sure that everything is kosher for when the qualifiers come up next month, but he
Mhm.
has to be in Tanzania, doing his thing. Let them play their match. Let them come back. They'll probably put them on commercial flights. They won't get any private jets to fly them back. You know,
They will come in batches.
you
In
know.
fact, some people should even come by road.
Instead of people should come by road. But me like, is there any player at all from that team that you can say, despite the poor performances in the opening two matches, this guy showed us some quality. This guy showed us something. Maybe that guy is going to be the next to leave the MPFL.
You know, with all the bad things that this is, all this thing, I just think that a player, and I think might probably still do well, in years to come, is a player that people have mocked on social media. Is Ngenge.
Mm.
It's just Ngenge is just it's just a victim of the system. Zero football knowledge, but you can see the potential. You can see. So I don't know how old Ngenge is, but he said he's 16 years of age. Also 16 or 17 years of age. So
Right. You say I don't know how old he is. Then you tell us. Then you're telling us his age.
no, allegedly 16. That's why I don't just put that way. Allegedly, I didn't see his birth certificate. That's the reason why
Okay.
I'm just saying that. But I just think that it's a guy that if he leaves early, maybe probably go to countries like Slovenia, not Bangladesh, Slovenia, Slovakia, countries like that. You can see him trying to move, you can see the progress slightly, I think, from Ngenge. And another player too, I was talked about is Abdurrafil Taiwo, the left back. I think Abdurrafil Taiwo plays for, I think it was Rivers United, if I'm not sure what I'm mistaken. You can see that it shows some few things. Maybe because I'm really a big fan of a left-footed player. Maybe because but I just think that Abdurrafil Taiwo can do something if they give him that opportunity. And that thing is that I don't know how old Abdurrafil Taiwo is, because the commentator kept on comparing him to Tai Taiwo. So this is not Tai Taiwo.
Because of the same name.
It's not the name. This is not Tai Taiwo. So Abdurrahim Taiwo, I think so. But others, my brother, even those I mentioned are really below average.
What of those that have already played Super Eagles? We have
Which
Sadiq Ismail.
mm-hmm.
He's already a Super Eagles player. You don't think he's done well?
Sadiq's mind level is very low. You can see from this tournament. It's very low. It's very low.
How about Raymond Tochukwu?
Nah. With everyone who does this, I don't know how old is he. Is he starting with 2 foot like this, going up, start showing? No, I don't
Tochukwu
think.
is 21.
Eh?
He's 21 years old.
Okay. You can still improve.
He has a bright future ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You can still improve.
So could
But
we say
where is he?
maybe
Why? I think the boy have been playing locally for so long ago. And he's 21. Okay.
I don't make the ages?
No, I'm not his
Can you
fanatic.
say maybe that's a reason why they're not performing so well, considering the fact that it's a very youthful squad?
Ayọ̀dé,
No.
please, you don't turn this into a comedy show.
Oh my God. So like the Taiwo that you said Abdurrafiu is 23.
Eh?
Ingenge, you say is 16. Induka Jr. is 24. The goalkeeper Mustafa Lawal is 24.
Eh?
Sadiq Ismaila is 23.
Eh?
Totuku is 21.
Ah?
So Adedayo is 24.
Eh?
Taufik Olani, I'm not sure how old he is. I think Sikiru Alimi is the only older player. Haruna is 24. Anthony is, I'm not sure how old Anthony is, but Sikiru Alimi is probably the oldest player in the starting 11 at 29 years old. So,
29?
yeah, so youth and inexperience, that can be the reason why they are not able to stack up
Yes.
against their opponents.
Yes, it might be due to inexperience. But I know a player in that team, that I just mentioned now, that played in 2016 for Luby Stars, 2016 and 17 for Luby Stars in the CAF Champions League 10 years ago.
Maybe he
This
was playing at at 13, 14, who knows?
Yeah, yes. And it was the last. Go and Google it. It was the last player to score in the CAF Champions League for Nigeria.
Mention the player's name now.
It's Sikiru Adimi.
So he's 29 now. I
So it
think
was 20. It was 20 then.
young star boy.
Okay.
What age when Saka scored his first Premier League goal? How old was he?
Do you know that?
How old is Esteban playing for Chelsea?
When was the first time Sikiru Adimi played in the MPFL? I think Adimi has been playing since 2013. 2013, maybe at 16. Yeah, it will be right. It will be at 16. At 15,
child prodigies. Some people start very young.
Yeah.
Esteban, if Esteban was Nigeria now, that's how in 10 years' time they'll say, Esteban that has been playing for Palmeiras since. The boy is a youngster.
Hey.
But yeah, wishing our players all the best, man. We'll watch them playing against Congo tomorrow. Final game. Hopefully they can get the result. So far in this tournament, Congo have what? They drew their 2 matches, right? Yeah, 1-1 against Sudan, 1-1 against Senegal. So based on that, it means that they are probably going to beat us because the teams that beat us, they drew, but football is not mathematics. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
So we're looking for.
There's no pressure. They can express themselves, man.
Some people in the comments are saying, "Oh, young shall grow," everything. Look, I'm not anybody's father. I'm not one to speculate. I talk based on the information that is publicly available. Maybe if anything I said is wrong, then they need to go online and correct the information because it's what I'm seeing online. But yes, shout out to them. Shout out to Uche and the rest of his squad. Okay. Let's see. Adedotun said I've known Sikiru Adimi since 2012. It doesn't matter. Esteval by Nigerian standard is just 4 years old. Very good.
Okay.
Well, yeah, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Maybe even that Sudanese team, they had some young players on their team, but we're not getting to Sudan.
Yeah. They have some young players in their team too. So I wish them luck. When you mentioned that you in their age, I would try do research slightly on them now more.
Yeah, unless maybe the information online is wrong. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the Super Eagles of Nigeria.
Yeah,
we have the World Cup qualifiers coming up.
Female team, or you want to end up with different?
No. We end with Super Falcons. We have World Cup qualifiers coming up very, very soon. 2 weeks for camp to open, I believe.
2 weeks, yeah.
We have some players that have recently become injury doubts. The likes of Shemi Ajayi, the likes of Cyril Dessas. Is there another player that I'm not thinking of that is currently?
Ahmed Musa is injured.
Ahmed Musa is an injury doubt as well. Do you think that we have any cause for concern? Cyril Dessas, a lot of people wanted him to be the second choice striker. Victor Osimhen has played 1 match so far for Galatasaray this season, coming off the bench. He will play a couple more matches before he has to go to camp. Arokodare Dare is on the bench, coming off the bench for Genk this season. Victor Boniface is not even coming off the bench. So it's a very tough situation with Dessas out now. Who are the other strikers that we can trust? Shemi Ajayi is out. Who are the other centre backs that we can trust? We spoke earlier about how Benjamin Frederick is not really doing well for Denda in Belgium like we would have hoped. Igor Ogbu has not been having the best time. I think he might have picked up a knock in their last game as well. I have to double check that before I put out the wrong information. Give me 1 second. Let me just quickly look at that. Yes, he subbed off in the 33rd minute of their last match. So he picked up a knock. I'm not sure exactly if it's a serious injury or not. But do we have steady replacements? Should we be concerned about these injuries? What do you think?
For me, I think for this, I listened to Russell Martin, the coach of Rangers, just this afternoon. They are preparing for a big game against Club Brugge. The CAF in the CAF Champions League, the UEFA Champions League qualifiers. So, and I said that if it's not available tomorrow, we'll come back this weekend. He said it's not like it's not like they feared. It's not as bad as they thought initially. So I think this has to be ready for the World Cup qualifiers. He's very instrumental to to how we play. If he can actually be fit, because I saw what they did in the Unity Cup, and but the player like I think we can probably miss is Emiaja. Emiaja is like my mom, the third choice center back, if I'm not mistaken. After Kamibasi and
And
William Ekong, I think he's Semi Ajayi. So it's a very good deputy to Ashworth to have, in that team. And this hamstring has been I'll call it like a nagging injury now, because it's like reoccurring. Because if you remember too, a match, when we needed Semi Ajayi for the World Cup qualifiers too, he got injured when he was in West Brom. So, but now again, then he begin to come back. He also is getting injured.
yeah.
I think he might probably need to see a specialist, for this.
Because when you're having the same injury over and
Injury all
over
the
again,
time. Maybe he needs to visit sometimes in Nigeria.
in Nigeria.
Yeah. Yes, now maybe used to. But for me, I just think that we will probably want to miss him. So you mentioned possible replacement. For me, I think that if I'm to pick, it's either Awaziem and Balogun. No matter the where Balogun is playing, Balogun will play for Nigeria very well. That is one thing that you have to guarantee. In fact, I've been watching Balogun for how many games now? 60 something games for Nigeria. Only one bad game against Madagascar. Afcon tournament. That was.
Do you think they will go back to Balogun?
I think they mentioned his name.
Oh, okay.
They did. They mentioned his name. I think they mentioned his name. So I don't know. Maybe because he already submitted the provisional list, to FIFA. I don't know if Balogun name will be there, because if it's not there, there's no way you can submit it. So I just think that it might probably. I don't think Awaziem name to be there. So, but I think between Osho, Balogun, and Awaziem, I think we should be able to have one. But one thing about Osho is that Osho plays in a 3-back system.
Mm.
So it's different from like a flat 4-back system. So I don't know how that one will work. But yeah, I just think that Osho, Awaziem, or Balogun might probably be the best replacement for.
How about Torinaria?
He's a left-footed centre back.
We already have Calvin.
Yeah, so he's left-footed centre back. So I don't think he can't have two left-footed player. Play in that back. It's gonna be a big problem. He's one that can come in for Bassi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I can see some comments here, but people are not leaving your comments with super chat. So,
guys, go and get super chat now, and leave the comment. You can highlight it. Questions. Go and get it.
But as for Ekong, the Saudi Pro League season begins in 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
So Ekong is not in action quite yet. One of those
things
that's not active yet. But
Mm-hmm.
he'll probably play one match before he has to go to camp. So, but he's still the skipper.
You will
Ekong is going to be there regardless.
Even I watched his story when Kabasi went to go and greet him in London. Uncle went to pick the kids from school. It's just that our defensive pairing, for them to even have off-field relationship,
bonding up,
very very good. Bonding. Yeah, it's really really good, because I think Kabasi went to go and pick the kids from school. Uncle Calvin. So I like that. I like that chemistry.
And I mean, I'm asking this question, but Ademola Lookman, do you think he's in the squad regardless of what happens?
I think he's now in Bergamo. He's back to Atlanta now. I think he's also need to get his fitness right too. I'm hearing this evening that Inter are officially going to be pulling out of the deal. They don't want to have business to do with Atlanta. So I think the favorites now, they are going to be the Premier League boys and Atletico Madrid. They're going to come to the picture now for Lookman. So, but for me, I just want him to play maybe one game for Atlanta. And
but he's be a little bit sharp.
Yeah, he just needs to be a little bit sharp for the. He's there regardless. Come on, he's not the best player. So even with one leg, he's there.
Okay. Any other position that we have a little bit of concern, or are we good everywhere else in the attack, in the midfield? Are we good?
I think I know what your worry is. Mantogakoye did not make the list. You guys know that it's not
suspension.
For suspension. And so it's going to be Wabali and his entourage, you know. And, Anthony Ozuemena was tips to deputize Stanley Wabali, but unfortunately he got injured on the eve of the tournament. So I'm not sure maybe the coach will want to stick with Mustafa Lawa because I think he performed woefully against Sudan, in my own opinion. So for me, I think we are really struggling in that goalkeeping department.
Can they go for this boy, Aniagboso?
They cannot. It's the one that throws the ball in the net. They cannot go for him. I don't think it's even good to.
Even every Uzoho has put the ball in his own net before. It's not the first time.
No, it was when Uzo put the ball in his own net. I remember that was against Saudi Arabia. That was really the beginning. That was when Jose Pasano said, "So your tent, oh unity, bye bye. So your tent, oh unity." That was when he made that decision that nah. If he didn't change this guy, then Nigeria is not going anywhere. So that was when even you saw that script now. That was when everybody was appointed.
That was when he made the infamous if you fit do a Mary Bowman sign.
Mary Bowman sign you. Yes, that infamous Snapchat. Was it on Snapchat then?
Yeah, on Snapchat, yes.
On the Snapchat there, Mary Bowman sign you. Hey, if you could go and check that after that Ongu and everything, that was the beginning of the end for him. As at now, he can still bounce back, we don't know. But you knew that even if they call himself to Super Eagles, he didn't deserve it.
I would just say though, I mean, Anagosto this season, 3 games, 2 clean sheets, 3 top performances. So who knows? Maybe he's breaking out this year. Maybe this is his year to become a quality goalkeeper. Who knows?
But that comedy of error, IoT is very hard to cover.
Anybody can make mistake now. He's a human being.
No, that even is not a mistake. You saw your net, you kicked the ball to the net. That's a mistake. It was like you scored an own goal, like proper. Huh? That's not reflex, IoT. I slow it down, I check it very well. That is not reflex.
People make mistakes all the time. That's my.
Yeah, people make mistakes.
I mean, some people are saying Otto Okonkwo, but he's been on the bench in the championship so far this season.
Yeah, and that's why they're considering goals anyhow too. So when they bring him back, because I don't know what is wrong with wrestler. How can they stick to the team that actually got them promoted, than to start to bring new boys? I mean, I just think that he will soon get it. So he should get his place back for me. But I don't think his paper is ready.
They signed Danny Ward now. Danny Ward is a more experienced, older goalkeeper. So they are probably expecting that, okay, somebody that has played in the Premier League, they expect him to be better for them. It's not quite working out so far, but
it's not working out for Danny Ward. He's not working out for him.
2 matches, 5 goals conceded.
Yes.
But
so when the Congo plays his first game, then they will know the difference.
He played in the FA Cup, or was it FA Cup or Carabao Cup? Carabao Cup, against Hull City. He played in that game. He had a decent performance. They won the game on penalties. So.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I just hope that I know that he got a very big list. So let's wait for when he makes official. I think they want to. I spoke to somebody said that after tomorrow, the official list might probably be out here.
After tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
so if they finish their child disgrace.
Okay. So I mean, when the list comes out, of course, as always, I'll do a video. We'll talk about the squad and we'll discuss it further next week in the Nigeria podcast. Yeah, exciting times. I'm looking forward to seeing the list. But okay, in anticipation of the list, who would you definitely? You don't have to go through a whole 23-man squad, but who are some players that we might not expect, but you personally would like to see in the team? Is there anybody?
I think it's going to be the usual players, that'll be this team, honestly. But I'm hearing that Frank Onyeka is back. He's back. I'm hearing that Frank Onyeka and Cyril Dessers, that actually would back that team. If Dessers can prove his fitness, I think he's probably going to make the list. And so. I think it's just the usual. I don't think there's any.
There's no shock.
Maybe it's my Sadiq. I'm not just joking on that part, but I don't think there's any issue right now. No, it could be. I've not really. People are just telling me scans that this person is there, this person is there, this person is there. I don't know. Even there, even some people say that Adabiola is there. I don't know. I don't know how you mentioned that. But
I'll be surprised if I see Tosin's name on the list.
I'll be surprised.
Yes, who knows? Is Felix Agu going to be there?
I think Felix Agu is going to be there.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Felix Agu is going to be there.
Papa Daniel?
I don't think so.
Now that he's in Europe, you don't want to call him again.
No, since he's in Europe now, the agenda has been fulfilled. So he should go and make his money there. Will be fulfilled. And also, who will vouch for Germany again now? Nobody.
Anymore. He needs to. It didn't work out for him in the UK, so now he needs to go and.
Yeah, it didn't work out for me in the UK. To tell you that the level of their benefit is really low. So sad. I don't know, maybe we'll decide in that, but it's not playing any game yet.
Alexander, I've not seen him play a game of football in such a long time.
I
don't know what kind of injury, because I know he got injured at some point. Was it ACL? What was it?
I don't know.
The last time he played was September 2024. So I don't know if it was an ACL or I don't know what it was.
Yeah, I don't know. Just even the fans are complaining that they keep on paying these guys salary and he's always injured. I got taking comments of the Orlando Pirates social media pages that it's always, but say it's good if it's gonna play, but it's always injured. And that's the problem.
Wish everybody all the best though. Looking forward to it. Those games are so important to us, so of course we know that we cannot afford any mess ups. We need to go there and get 6 points out of 6. At this point, is obvious to us that FIFA they don't want to, they are taking their sweet time to announce sanctions against South Africa. But with or without those sanctions, we need to go there, we need to do our job, we need to get the results that we need and let everything happen in the future if that's when it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else on Super Eagles before we go to Super Falcons?
Yeah, I think we'll just be waiting for the list. Let's actually when the list comes out, then we talk about more of that list too. So yeah, that's it.
Okay. Once again, guys, if you want us to take your comments or you want us to answer questions, or some people asking questions, leave your comment with the super chats. It's a little way that you can support the channel and the efforts that we put in. So thank you as you do so. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please make sure you subscribe. Hit the like button if you haven't liked this video already. And yes, we'll get into the final topics of conversation before we open the lines for people to call in and share their thoughts as well. Okay, Super Falcons. So much has happened in the about 19 days since the Super Falcons were crowned champions of Africa for the 10th time.
Yes.
They went home, they were celebrated, they were received by the president.
Yeah.
Gant Football started off this.
Let us start.
Thank you very much. Yeah, you guys should follow Gant Football.
Yes.
Okay, so the Super Falcons went back home. They were celebrated, received well, celebrated by the president. They were promised $100,000 Naira equivalent by the presidency. They had a party hosted by MTN, had a party hosted by Amstel Malta. Premium Trust Bank did an event for them. Different players went to their different home states, were received by the governors of their states. It was fun fair non-stop for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Non-stop fun fair. And then they went back home to rest. Some players did interviews. Ashley Plumter was on radio, was on TV. Some other players were speaking to other people. And the captain of the team, Rashid Ajibade, tournament MVP, team of the tournament, also did an interview. And like a small fire in the forest, everything just caught fire and got bigger and bigger from there. And there has been a lot of talk, a lot of controversy, a lot of questions that arose from this. I wouldn't even say from the interview itself, from the clip that was posted from the interview. From that clip, a lot of questions, and a lot of stories have been written. I want us to talk about these things. I want to specifically clarify certain things as well, because I have a lot of information about what is going on and what always goes on at the Super Falcons camp. The first thing that I would say is that it's 2025. We are used to social media. It's a bit unfortunate that we still take clips to heart as the gospel truth.
Mm-hmm.
With some controversies have come up in Nigeria in the past. One of the biggest podcasts in Nigeria, where clip was part of what caused issue. So we should already understand that if you watch a clip, you probably need to go and watch the thing for full context.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I understand fans. Fans don't necessarily always go and watch the full video. But it's a bit disappointing that quote unquote professional media also do not take the time to go and watch a full interview. If you watch a 50-second clip and you think, is there a story here? The least you can do is go and watch the full interview to actually verify and get full knowledge and context of what's going on. Unfortunately, that's not what happened. Headlines were started, and it just became a thing of, oh, Ajibade said she played in Nigeria 10 years without salary. Oh, Ajibade said this, Ajibade said that. And one of the big ones was, we have not received our $100,000. We have not received our bonuses. Let me just quickly clarify something there, because some people read it and understood it as some kind of complaint about time that it was taken for the monies to be received or anything like that. And it was not. Because again, if you see comments out of context, you can't read mood, you can't read emotion, you can't read facial expression. It was joking responses based on the fact that a lot of people have been asking the players about the money.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, that wasn't complaining about, oh, the money from the president is taking too long or anything like that. It was a question of, have you received the money? She said, no, we haven't received it. She wasn't complaining, she was just answering the question. She even said, oh, but when the money is received, it will be made public,
Mm-hmm.
and that they are hopeful that it will come soon. People turned it into a whole other thing. People packaged it as if she was complaining about the fact that they haven't received the money. And I understand fans will be fans, but media, if you are going to go and do a whole radio show talking about it, if you are going to do TV segments talking about it, the least you can do is do your due diligence. Go watch the full thing, or you can even ask for comments from the person that is involved in the thing. Just do your due diligence. You can't just write a whole story as a professional media outlet without even trying to verify exactly what was going on. But that was one of the things that came up, and it erupted into more. But before we get into some of the more that it erupted into, Smith, do you have anything to say about that?
For me, I just think that when we want to bring out information, especially when you have a very large audience, we must get our facts right, and be able to actually analyze situation in a very fair way, in a very balanced way. I just think after when I clip actually what came out, I think majority of people, they took sides, people for and against, and showed you different Twitter, different what's it called, tweets, regarding that. So in my opinion, I just think that it's a big shame that the traditional media, they should be setting good examples. They are not actually doing their work properly, and it's actually what really, really actually what bad. So I know that it was go into the details of like what's it called, the content of what happened there, but I'm waiting to actually give more comments about it.
You know what was interesting? There was one person that reached out to clarify the situation. And funny enough, of everybody that wrote a story, the person that reached out was a blogger.
Mm-hmm.
And I found it very interesting that, wow, all the traditional media just wrote stories, said whatever they said, and it was only a blogger that you would even expect a blogger to be the last person to bother to go and verify the information, even they can just post the story. Was the one person that reached out and said, oh, I'm hearing this about Rashidat. Is it true? Is there more to it? What exactly situation? It was one person, was a blogger. But yes, further to that, after Rashidat's comments, the NSC went into defense mode.
Mm-hmm.
Now, maybe it's because we're gearing up for 2027 and they don't want to appear to be doing a bad job in front of their Oga or in front of
Mm-hmm.
Nigerians. I
Yeah.
don't know what the exact motivations are, but the
Right.
NSC went into defense mode. This is something that, if you wanted to kill the story fairly easily, you could have maybe spoken to the player
Mm-hmm.
and found a way to just amicably just let the whole thing go. You could have spoken to the player. I was a bit shocked that I went into or a thing of, okay, now we're going to go on national TV. We're going to say that, oh, she didn't say this, we didn't do that, things like that. So the first thing I would say, the 100K, everybody knew that the 100K is going to take some time to arrive.
Mm-hmm.
It's from the presidency. Everybody knows that you're not going to just get your money immediately.
Yeah.
It has to be released. It has to go through different funnels. The NSC already asked the players to send all their banking information. The players have provided that. When everything is released and it goes to the proper channels, it will be sent to the players. The players have no doubt about that. Everybody knows that one is covered. But then Rashidat also spoke about she has not received, or they have not received, their bonuses from the WAFCON. And then the NSC DG, I think is his role, went
Yes.
on
Osogula. Yeah,
yes,
that is Bukola Alopade,
yes,
aka Osogula.
went on TV, said, "Oh, Rashidat never said that. That he even has um, conversations with Rashidat where she denied it, blah blah, things like that." Hearing that blew my mind because I know for a fact that DG did not speak to Rashidat.
Hmm.
So I don't understand why he went on TV to lie. He did not speak to Rashidat,
Hmm.
and Shehu Diko did speak to her.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get into too many details, but the DG did not speak to Rashidat. So he
Hmm.
went on TV to say this, that he spoke with her. She said this, she said that. What Rashidat said, if it was true, then it was true. Rashidat has no reason to lie against the NSC or against the NFF or anybody. The
Mm-hmm.
players constantly are fighting for things. I
Hmm.
feel like they could have handled the situation much better, but they went to throw petrol on the fire that was already burning.
Hmm.
Now you are seemingly throwing your player under the bus. You are trying
Mm-hmm.
to make the player and the players look like the ones that are causing the issues and are lying and are saying things that are not true. We know the precedence of these people. We know how they do things. This is not news to anybody that money does not come on time. Even if
Hmm.
they claim to have paid this money, is it the first time that money is supposed to be paid? Are they
Hmm.
going to claim that all the players in the Super Falcons have zero balances in terms of money that is being owed? They
Hmm.
can't. Some of the players, as of a couple of days, I'm not sure because I've not asked anybody about it today, but as of a couple
Yeah.
of days ago, they were still waiting to receive their luggage from Morocco. Luggage, oh, something that should be as easy. They will hear, oh, it's coming this day, it doesn't come. They say, oh, it's coming this day, it doesn't come. Some of them have gone back to their bases without their luggage. Basic things like this that we cannot get right. The bonuses, as of the day that that interview was recorded, the reality of it, the truth of the matter is that bonuses had not been paid. That was just the simple truth. Now, between when the interview was recorded and when the interview was published to the public, did bonuses start getting paid? Yes. Bonuses started getting paid. Hadn't been paid in full, but bonuses started getting paid. So I understand why maybe they are saying it and thinking, oh, but we started paying bonuses. Why is she saying that bonuses have not been paid? But as of the day that she did the interview, the bonuses had not been paid. And again, I go back to saying, if something like that happens and you want to kill the story, there are much better ways than going on TV to throw your player under the bus.
Hmm.
Do you have anything to say at this point, Bilal, before we go into recent comments by somebody on TV?
For me, I also agree with you that there could be like a better way of handling this matter than to come and trying to wash your dirty linen, your dirty clothes, as you walk outside. There is no, we all know the history, records in Nigeria that sometimes is people are allergic to paying bonus. They don't want it. They don't want to pay bonuses. And I don't know, when Ozugo said that, I was like, oh, I don't think, I don't know if he spoke to Sheodiko before going live on TV. It might be from mistake, but I just want to continue because that comment that that by journalist is pregnant. There's a lot of things there, so you can go on with that, guys.
On Arise TV.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to AB.
Do you have the?
Yeah, I have the clip to play.
Okay.
One of their journalists or co-hosts was on TV, and he said some things that I want us to talk about. I'll play the first part.
Maybe the story they will not tell you was that these ladies were giving the money from the grapevine. They said they were going to pay them in Naira, which is the right thing. Because remember that these are Nigerians playing for Nigeria. So they said, okay, well, your your bonuses and all the daily camp allowances, when you total them, comes to $30,000. We're going to do $30,000 times 1,540. The exchange rate then was 1,530. But say we'll give room for fluctuation. We'll pay you at 1,540. And they wanted to pay them in Naira. And the ladies said no. Most of them said, we don't play in Nigeria. What do we want to do with Naira? This is exactly what the Super Falcons said, led by Ajibade herself, and insisted that they will not receive Naira from the Nigeria Football Federation. And the Nigeria Football Federation said, no problem. If you are insistent on dollars, we will have to take it to the CBN. We'll pay this money to the CBN, and they will do the conversion, and when they get the dollars, they will pay you people. So that they were not paid is not the fault of the Nigeria Football Federation, because the president had instructed the NSC to pay all these people, and the NSC sent the money to the Nigeria Football Federation. The Nigeria Football Federation wanted to send the money to the ladies. The ladies refused and said they will not collect Naira. It is unfortunate, and I felt it's kind of embarrassing if you ask me.
It is embarrassing because it always occurs every time. You know the preferred choice of the ladies already. If they tell you they're not, some of them, for instance, you look at a player like Choma Okafor. That's her first time. She's she's a Nigerian. Her mother is from Malawi, and she's been there for a long time. I bet she doesn't even have a Nigerian account. So you know all of these. There's always a reason it is not paid at the right time, and I don't think it should be happening at this point, Aaron. I think that should be
accounts.
Now let me come in here, Aaron.
Oh my God.
Aaron, let me come in here.
The point is this. Sorry to interject here.
Yeah.
Sorry to interject here. Not to see. This is what we should not normalize anomalies. Not normalize abnormalities. The truth is this: if you want to work for Nigeria, you cannot insist that you must have an account in Nigeria that you should be paid. It is constitutional. And it is that they do it does not make it constitutional. It is unconstitutional to do business in Nigeria and insist that you must get paid in another currency other than Nigerian currency.
They should have got that
business
out before the tournament.
In Nigeria by Nigerians must be paid in Naira.
Yeah, muted.
That was a long watch. He spoke about a lot of things. I'll try to take it as much as I can in segments. So the first thing that he spoke about, he said what they will not tell you is that they were ready to pay this money and the players said they will not accept Naira. Now, what he did not tell you, I'll tell you guys also what he is not telling you. What he is not telling you is that it is normal for the players to receive their bonuses in dollars. It is very normal for the players to receive their bonuses in dollars. It is what has always happened. That is the precedence that has been set. It's not like they usually accept Naira and all of a sudden they came this time and said they don't want Naira. No. You always pay them in dollars. Even the NFF, the admin people that go there, they get paid in dollars as well. Smilai, the players earn $100 for each day that they spend in camp.
Yep.
Some of the NFF admin, they don't play any football. They earn $800 for each day that they spend in camp. Yes. That's what they will not tell you. Those people don't get paid in Naira. They get their money in dollars.
800.
Some of them as high as 800, and they don't kick a single ball. They don't coach anything. They just go there to support, quote unquote. That's the part that they will not tell you. The other part that they will not tell you is that none of the details of the bonuses were made available to the players before the tournament. If I'm going to get bonuses, I should know before I start that, okay, if you win this match, this is the amount of bonus you get. If you lose, this is what you get. If you get to the semi-final, this is what you get. You know exactly what you're supposed to earn. The players were not told. It was before the final match. You came and met them and said, oh yeah, it's time to pay your bonuses. Send your Naira account. And the players are like, wait, what? First of all, we don't even know what our bonuses are. But now you're asking us to send Naira accounts. When did you start paying us in Naira? It has always been dollars. So of course the players were confused about it. We always get paid in dollars. Why is it that now you want to pay us in Naira? And he said, hey, led by Ajibade, tried to make it seem as if Rashidat was pushing something. Rashidat is the captain of the team.
Yep.
Who is going to liaise between the team and the Ogas? Is the captain. She didn't make a decision and tell other people to follow her decision.
Yeah.
It was a team thing of, we do not want to collect this money Naira because that's not what normally happens. And some of them don't have Naira accounts. So they said, no, captain, go and tell them that we want our money in dollars. Is it every time that we go to camp that we must fight over money or we must fight over allowances? And he said, no, tell them. And then she went back and she told them this is what the team said. And the NFF, normally, let's be honest, if the norm is for the NFF to pay them Naira, do you think the NFF would have said, no problem, we'll go back and change it? When does the NFF play ball? Normally. It's because what they were doing was outside of the norm. That's why when the player said no, it has to be dollars. That's why the NFF said, okay, no problem. We will go and change it. So I understand them saying, oh, the reason why it has not come as of the point of Rashidat saying it doesn't come is because they had to go and change it. But again, the reason why you had to go and change it is because you try to do what is not normal. You try to just do a 360 on them and say you want to pay them in Naira when you are supposed to pay dollars, and dollars is what you've always been paying. If it's that they make a new rule and they say, okay, henceforth, all camp allowances, everything paid in Naira, the players will be aware beforehand. And it's not going to be something that they will fight because they're already aware that that's how it's done. But you just come last minute before the final and try to change the situation. And then you expect the players to just accept because normally they just lie down whenever the NFF tries to do anything and run upon them. Here's the kicker. Aaron, in his comments, when he started, he said something straight from the grapevine. So that means that the information that he has is first-hand information. He is sure of what he's saying.
Yes.
And he mentioned numbers. He said $30,000. They were supposed to use the exchange rate. I think he said 1540 was the exchange rate that they were going to use.
Yeah.
Here's the funny part of that whole thing, like, and everyone that's watching. The money that the players were told that before the final that they came to tell them it's time to pay your bonuses is not what Aaron called.
Hmm.
The money that the players were told was less than that $30,000 that Aaron is talking about.
Hmm.
So the NSC has allocated $30,000, the equivalent in Naira, let's say, to be given to the players and handed it over to the NFF. The money that the NFF came to give the players was not at $30,000.
Hmm.
So somewhere in between, I'm not going to allege anything, but some of the funds have gone missing.
Hmm.
Because Aaron said it's very sure of the numbers he was calling. Those were not the numbers that were presented to the players. Those were not the numbers. So somebody somewhere or something somewhere, maybe bank transfer fees, I don't know. Somehow, the money is reducing from the time it gets from the NSC to the NFF to when it's time to come to the players. And Aaron and the NSC probably are not aware that the players were not told and given their full allocation. That's why he's saying these numbers in public.
Yeah.
But I think the NSC probably should go and question some people. Because if the federal government allocates 30 grand in Naira, then why are the players getting something that is less than that? And again,
is he significantly less, or
depends on what you consider significant, but not close to 30,000.
is he 20?
And again, I can't say the exact figures.
Okay.
And again, the reason why something like this can happen is because before the tournament, you don't tell the players what they stand to earn. Because if they know exactly what they stand to earn, then they will themselves, they can do mathematics. They know exactly what they are supposed to get at the end. You don't tell them. You come before the final. It's time for you to receive your money. You try to change the currency that the money is supposed to be paid in. And even at that, you are still giving them less than what was allocated. The NSC is trying to save face. They're trying to look good. It's not our fault. We did everything on our side. But they're also exposing what some other people are doing somewhere, allegedly. Unfortunately, players cannot come and say these things that I'm saying now because we know how things they be. But these are the things that the players are going through and the players have to endure, and they keep quiet about. Now, even the bonuses that are being paid is being paid in batches here and there. Oh yeah, you receive this one. Oh yeah, this person received this one. This person received that one. It's not like everything was just sent at once and they received the full allocation of the money. I don't know if NFF now, maybe because Aaron has said the number publicly, maybe they will make sure they send the right amount. But what the players were told was not that amount. It was not 30,000 times 1540. That's not what the players were told. Before even going back and saying that they want dollars, that's not what they were told. A lot of things happen. So, do you have anything to say at this point?
So for me, I think, like you said, Aaron got his information because he was so sure of what he was saying. He was confident, sure, and even all the blogs, in Nigeria actually would pick up that news that they paid those girls. But if they are, NFF could not even gather money to pay these guys their money. Federal government have to intervene to pay these guys, and someone is still missing. It's just a big shame and a big disgrace. And you mentioned something about those guys are getting paid $100 in a day, and some people that will go to the beach in Morocco and be watching different things, they are getting paid up to $800. That is big. That is massive. I don't know what is happening in the NFF. I just think that they need to reshake some areas there. Trying to talk about Ajibade, I don't know, maybe there's any animosity there or she is just emotional. This Ajibade that they are talking about, Ajibade is the captain of the team because she's like the one facing all the bullets now. Nobody's talking about Chiamaka Nnadozie. Nobody's talking about Chris Uche or any other player in that team. This Ajibade, like So what? She's the captain of the team. She needs to speak for her mates, you know. And how do you expect Ashley Plunter to spend that naira? Is it to go and buy Guguru and Epa in the roadside in Lagos, or to use that naira to carry Okada? Since you have been paying Ashley Plunter, I've never paid her with naira before. You know, these people, when they want to do this mago, that's when they change it to naira. That's why how they want to go and pay Genetro 50 million naira. You go and be spending. So they just complain, how would I'm traveling to France now. You are giving me naira. How do you want me to spend this money? So, in my opinion, I just think that Aaron might be right that they release the money and everything, but I just think that they need to investigate more exactly where what the money is. In my opinion, I think that this one now will open NFF slightly up.
I think so too. I think in their attempt to save face, they've opened up another can of worms with the NFF. This news, I don't know if they were trying to throw the player under the bus or they were trying to kill the news, because they've only made it into a bigger story than it needs to be. It has only turned to more noise than they needed to be. And I don't know if I would say there's animosity towards Ajibade, but Rashidat is one of those players who has been in the team for a number of years now. Since she was a youngster, she has seen a lot in the time in the team, and she works closely with Fifth Pro. I don't know if you are aware of that.
Yeah.
So she's one of those people that doesn't like to take nonsense in the team. And some people don't like that. I don't know if I mentioned this to you during the WAFCONs with but I haven't said this on live. They didn't want Rashidat to play the second match. They didn't want her to play against Zambia. Not because she was not deserving of being in the team, but because she did not want to take their nonsense. And she's the captain of the team. If the captain of the team accepts anyhowness that is being done by the administrators, the rest of the team, they don't have legs to stand on.
Yeah.
And the rest of the team, they look at her, they complain to her, they ask her to speak up for them. So she does her job as captain and speaks up for them. But some of those people, they look at it as she's the one that is always causing wahala. She's the one that is always telling them not to accept something. But if you just come and do anyhow, why should they accept the anyhow that you do? It's like Smithlai, if you and I sign an agreement now, and I say, Smithlai, I'll pay you £500 for this job. Then in 3 weeks' time, when it's time for me to pay, I say, send your Naira account. Are you not going to say, IoT Alpha? Now, pounds, we agree now. And then if you now say, no, you must pay in pounds, I'll now go and say, this Smithlai is causing wahala. You stick to what has been agreed upon. You don't come and change things last minute. So I don't know who it is that maybe might have an issue with Ajibade, but I think that it is sad that instead of trying to kill the flame, the NSC goes to pour more fuel on the flame. At the same time, the sports commissioner, Shehu Diko, is talking to the player, making it seem like he wants to find a way to resolve the situation with the player, while his second is going on TV to throw the player under the bus. I don't know if it's that they don't communicate. I don't know if that they're trying to play the player. Because you guys know I work closely with Rashidat. They sent her a statement to put out. I read the statement. I told her we're not putting this out. It was a very... If she put out the statement, even you would have seen it and said, they gave her. Reading the statement, you can tell that this is a statement that was written by somebody in the administration. And I said, you didn't lie. You didn't say anything wrong. Why are they asking you to come and put out a statement taking all your words back? The moment you do that, how do you speak up for anything in the future? Why should we take your word for it in the future? If you are going to put out a statement that essentially is admitting that you were saying false things, why would we believe when you say something else in the future? So I told her, no, We can't put out that statement. I don't know if maybe because that statement never came out, that's why the second went on TV to talk.
Mm-hmm.
But it happened very closely that I imagine that it's probably not the reason why, and he just went on TV to say his own thing because he wanted to change the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
But the biggest thing is that these people don't care about the players.
Mm.
They don't care if they damage the player's reputation. They don't care if public perception turns against the player. What they care about is we want to look good.
Mm.
And anything that does not allow us to look good, we don't like it.
Mm.
Again, I'll say this just because we've been talking a lot. The players usually receive their money in dollars. Before the final, they come and say they want to pay the players in naira. The players said, why are we changing things now? No, pay us in dollars. That's the reason why they went back. It's not like the players just did strong head. You came and changed it. The money that the players were told that they were going to pay is not the money that Aaron received information about from the NSC. So somebody from the NSC needs to talk to the people at the NFF and figure out why money is missing by the time it's getting to the players from when it leaves the federal government.
Yes.
Going into the part of, if you are in Nigeria, you represent Nigeria, you should receive money in naira. If that has been the norm, if that is the rule, if that is what is agreed upon, I don't think anybody can argue that that is wrong. But you don't change the terms of the agreement in the very last minute. Before the tournament, let the players know exactly what is being given to them, what they stand to earn. Don't just come at the end and throw up an arbitrary number and they cannot argue, they cannot say anything, they just have to accept whatever it is. There's a lot that the players go through. Some of it I still cannot say right now. But there's a lot that the players go through. And the players can't speak up. Because if they speak up, there are consequences to be had. A player like Ajibade is fairly hard to exclude her from the team because of her importance and her captain, which is the captain. But imagine if maybe it was a Tosin Dimeng that this happened to.
That's bye-bye.
You will just not hear about her again in the national team. Or maybe it was a player that was on the outskirts about to leave. That's how they will just phase her out and you will not see her again. But I'm telling you that even Ajibade still, during the WAFCON, they tried to exclude her from 2 matches because they did not like that she wasn't accepting their anyhowness. There were some players that did not play because they also did not want to accept anyhowness. I played 1 game and we did not see them again in the tournament. I wouldn't name names. I would name names. If you want, you can go and check. There's a lot that these girls go through. There's a lot that they keep fighting for. These Super Falcons keep on getting the short end of the stick, keep on being mistreated. No matter how much the NSC tries to save face, we know that things go anyhow in Nigeria. And this doesn't even really have to do with the NSC. The NSC did their job. It's the NFF that didn't do their own job. And unfortunately, the NFF not doing their job maybe is reflecting back on the NSC. That's why they want to save face. But even if you want to save face, why do you do that while throwing your player under the bus? There are better ways to manage situations. There are better ways to kill stories. I rest my case for now.
Yes, you actually said it all. I don't think I need to actually add more to it. It's just the issue of saying that something is right constitutionally, and things like that. I think that is false. I think that depends on the agreement. Can you go and try the same thing with Super Eagles? I'm not sure you can try that. I know that they pay the underage, based on, they pay them with naira. I know that, but I don't think they pay Super Eagles with naira. They pay them with what? With dollars. So I just think that I don't know the reason why Aaron is doing that. I just think that he needs to be cautious of what he's saying the next time. I just think so. He was so emotional saying that because he got that information from from the NSC. But unfortunately, that's not the reason on grant. I hope that
And so it's culture of like Aaron, who is supposed to be a professional journalist, if you receive information from the NSC, you try to hear from the other side.
that's what I'm trying to say. It needs to contact and try and balance it, But the issue is that some of these people, when they give them that information, oh, this is authentic information. I want to make sure I should be the first one to break it, and trend more now. And you can see that it was on Instagram, it was everywhere, when actually made that, broke that news. So for me, I think, I just think that it needs to be very careful into the way to balance the work, because you cannot just hear from one side of the story and you just go and put that like that. No, I think it's really unfair. For example, now, if everybody is trying to bring, trying to say our own story now, it's going to be afterthoughts, because somebody will just, I don't think it's fair. I think you have to balance it.
See, and the thing is that the NSC, the NFF, all the powers that be, they own the traditional media. See how easy it was for the DG to go on different TV stations to say his piece. They contacted blogs, everybody to post. You think it was just natural people posting about it? No, they contacted people to post it. I said a blogger reached out to say, how far is this story true? It's because they were telling the blogger to post it. And that's why the blogger returned and said, see what people are telling me to post. Oh, can you confirm if it's true or not? They contacted blogs. Only God knows if they paid some of them to post it. They said, no, post this story. So you are an active campaign that is throwing your player and players under the bus because you are trying to save face. Unfortunately, again, a lot of people misconstrued the bonuses with the 100K that was promised by the presidency. Those are two different things. The 100K from the presidency, the president himself said the Naira equivalent. So everybody's expecting our money to be paid in Naira because that's what was promised. But again, that goes back to the important thing. If you communicate ahead of time, we know exactly what you are getting. Now, no player can demand for that money to be paid in dollars because right from the beginning, they told you it was Naira equivalent. But if the normally agreed upon thing is dollars, then it's dollars that is supposed to be. Another thing that I would say, I know I said I rest my case, but I just remember this. Again, the information that is being given to Aaron and the details of what's going on, some of this information is information that a handful of people were privy to. Captain, coach, team secretary, NSC representative, maybe a call that had 6-7 people on it. So again, the only way that Aaron has this information is if one of those 6 or 7 people gave him that information. I know for a fact that the information wasn't given to him by the captain. So maybe I don't know if it's team secretary or is the NSC or the coach. Somebody is the one that is giving the information of private internal communication to the media. If a player tells somebody in the media something about what's going on behind the camp, they will start to query the person. I know how many players that they've disturbed them at camp for being close to me, and the player will come and tell me about it. But now when it's time for them to save face, they are very happy going to tell the media about behind the scenes happenings and behind the scenes conversations. I can't wait for when the players are fully able to speak up and everybody sees the anyhowness, the rubbish that happens in that Super Falcons camp when it comes to everything. There is no camp that they don't have issues. There is no camp that they don't have issues.
Tough. I know. No, it's tough. I just hope that people outside can show us make a lot of awareness of all these things, because these guys deserve better, in my own opinion. It's going to be very interesting to see the next call up for the next Super Falcons call up, just to see exactly what happened there. But for me, I just think that these girls deserve respect. 10 AFCON title is one AFCON title is not easy.
Let me just say thank you to Adidotun for the super chats. I see you for the super stickers. Thank you very much. I also see Remy Ali. Thank you, Remy Ali. Much appreciated. Thank you for supporting the channel. And then I have a recent one from Uche. Uche has a comment saying, when I complain that Nigerian journalists act like commentators, they don't do due diligence to corroborate their stories. Yeah. No due diligence. No due diligence. I say it, the thing that still blows my mind the most is that the one person who tried to hear from the other side was a blogger, not even a journalist.
Mm-hmm.
All the journalists just spoke about it like they knew exactly what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
If you know everything that is going on, even me, I don't even know everything that is going on. But the one that I know is enough to just tell you that don't listen to anything that these people say. Because all that matters to them is they just want to look good.
Yeah.
And they know that if they say 1, 2 things now, the players are not going to be able to come and say 3, 4. Because if they say 3, 4, they are the ones that have something to lose. The NFF admin will still be there no matter what happens. They will still collect their own allowances. And they collect a lot of allowances, more than the players. So they see.
It's just that.
Anyway, we have one person waiting to speak to us. So let me hear what he has to say. And yeah. Hello, Tim Tucker.
Good evening. Ayochi and Larry.
Good evening.
Me?
Yes,
Can you hear me? First of all, for the Falcons, I blame them for one thing. For tournament, name your prep for tournament. Let them know what I'm going calling for tournament. Fight for right sport. They have done that for the beginning of tournament. It should not happen to them. Secondly, the players are not playing. They are not playing again after the first match. I know them. 20 Pain not playing after. They're not playing again after 2 matches. They're playing again. You know that one too. And I see. Like, we know everything. No, we know. Thirdly, about the issue, I think for me, and Nigerian journalists, they are full of shit. Most of them are just on federal government payroll. So they work according to their boss. As for the people that went to that collect $800 without doing nothing, God will judge them too. God will judge them. I'm not going to judge them, but players that are fighting, that are playing football, they should give them $100,000. People are just sitting down there doing rubbish. Don't be don't judge them. Final before I go, Smith Larry.
Yeah.
Smith Larry, can you hear me? Any update on Tosi for Nigeria? Any update on Tosi? Super Eagles call of Tosi?
I've been hearing rumors about that too, but from a very reliable source, say that he's going to play for Nigeria. But I seem to I seem to hear from one person.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. IoT. I think the message. I think the DM on Instagram.
I'll check it. My apologies.
I think the message on about your trivia square. I'm interested.
All right.
So thank you.
Very much.
Good night.
All right. Thank you very much. If anybody else wants to call in, the link has been posted. We will wait a couple minutes, then we'll wrap up for tonight.
Yeah.
Uche says, didn't you see how they twisted Boniface words in regards to how people take playing for their countries?
That's another thing. From that podcast, actually what said. It's who can actually takes things out of context actually. But in my opinion, I just think that you need to actually listen. I think some of us listen to actually respond. I think we need to actually listen very well. In my opinion, I just think that Ron did not do a very good job in that regard.
He heard something from somebody, he got very emotional about it, came on public TV to talk about it without actually understanding the full extent of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, when has the NFF ever been uh, that supportive that Super Falcons will say, "Oh no, don't pay us," and they will just say, "Oh yeah, no problem, we're gonna change it to dollars for you." If not that, that's what they were supposed to do from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Again, one day, I know that one day a lot of this information that is not available to people now will be made public. I'm just looking at my phone as I'm talking. If I could show without getting in trouble with some of the players that are my people, some of the information to understand how bad these things are. People would think because they won the WAFCON, everything was happy. The players won that. See, that's why it's nice. The players won that WAFCON because they played their hearts out. And they knew that the only way that they will be able to fight in the future is if they win that WAFCON. Because the way a lot of people are, if they didn't win the WAFCON and they come and talk in the future, people will say, "Hey, you that cannot win, you that cannot do this, you that cannot do that." So that's one of the reasons why they fought hard to win that tournament, because they knew that the future largely depends on whether or not they can win. And to God be the glory, they won. But we are still waiting for things to change. You will still hear more about this in the future, I'm pretty sure. Just give it time. You will still hear more about this. I can't. Similar, you know some of what I'm talking about,
Yeah,
but I can't reveal to the public yet. It's not my place to reveal.
yeah.
Hello, Mr. Theophilus. Welcome. Okay, we lost him. Hello, Prof. Data. Welcome, sir.
Yeah, hello, good day.
Yes, good day. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm happy listening to your show, and I say, God bless you now for waiting that they do.
Thank you. Amen.
Thank you.
I want to speak a bit about your the pay to these players. See, it's very bad when the system. You know, there's a day on your show I use this set of words, and I will let me mention it. It's like the people in the NFP are just qualified quacks. Sorry to say it. I don't know how they realize people. And so let me say this. Sometime last week, this guy, what's his name? Ademola Victor, he did a YouTube. He brought a lot of ex-Falcon players and they spoke. One of the Falcon players, I can't remember if it's Uwak or Patience Ivory, he said, "Na monkey they walk, baboon they chop." This is what's going on in the NFL. It's very bad that this thing keeps on going on and on. I just wish it would stop, because these ladies, as you said, this AFCON wasn't actually won by the expertise of the coach. You have just it was by the ladies playing out their heart. So also the Tigers, they won that event, them playing out their heart. It's not this. So our sporting body should think twice. Why are they now debating that they are Nigerians, that they are meant to be paid in naira? What kind of nonsense is that? I call it intense nonsense. Not only arrant nonsense, but intense. The intensity of the nonsense is very high. What kind of thing is this? This is why, in short, this is NFA does. It's why the last FIFA World Cup, FIFA decided to pay the ladies direct to their account. And they're still putting up this supreme show of shame all over the place. I just don't know. I wish that NFA could be not only flushed out, it should be brought to it should be thrown into extinction, and they bring it about a new NFA. You know, these things, it just goes on every day, every day, every day. I don't know what kind of nation we are. You know, they say, okay, it's sports that brings us happiness. The only thing that brings us happiness is what they just want to ruin like that. My brother is very, I just don't know what's going on. I just wish these players the best. They have to speak for their rights, you know. They don't know the value of Ajibade. That lady, I've watched a lot of female players. She's one of the best female football players who I've ever had for a long time. Not only that she's good in the field, she's also good, bringing her teammates together. The first day I saw her play, I think that was in 2014 under-17. I knew that lady would go far, and I'm not surprised seeing her. This is what I have to say about all this scenario going on. I'm not happy about all what this NFA is doing. When it is time to pay this play, and the NFA, are they even thinking if you pay them in naira now, and the dollar goes down, and tomorrow it goes up, what do you want the players to say? They should simply pay them in dollars. Simple. They're used to receiving dollars. If people in the cabinet of NFA and so get dollars, this NFA should go and sit down. I'm getting annoyed with them. Because there was a time I was traveling to Ethiopia in the Ethiopian embassy. Super Eagles that was in 2013. Super Eagles have played their match long ago. I saw NFA people in the embassy. What are they going to do? They finished match long ago. They're in the embassy. Isn't it NFA money, Nigerian money, them they chop? I beg. Things should change.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Honestly, things need to change. Things need to change. And unfortunately, they know that a lot of people don't understand how it works or don't have the full information. So it's easy to sway the belief of some people. But yes, Mr. Theophilus, welcome.
Hey, hi, hello, Smith. I've been listening to your program for quite a while now. I was actually in the car driving. I just got off my car, got home.
Thank you.
So it's great to be on your show. I'm an avid fan. Concerning the situation with the Super Falcons, it's quite unfortunate. I'm in my 40s now, and I've been someone who has been a sports lover, and this has been a continuous endemic system that I've been used to in Nigeria. It's not something that I started today. Right from the days from the 90s to the 2000s, both the male and female national team, we've ever had stories from players complaining to the end when they were still NFA. Now they rebranded to NFF. We know all the shenanigans that they're going through. So I think it's just a metamorphosis of what has been happening and keeps happening continuously and continuously. It's a shame that we find ourselves to be in a society where morals and values are not taken into high esteem. Because if that was the case, why would they be going to this extent, to want to take people's hard-earned money, what they have worked for, and one way or the other, you're trying to shortchange them? Because that's definitely what they're trying to do, is shortchanging people. And if you are trying to voice out what they're doing, they find a way to silence you, either by not playing you or one way or the other. So, but it's and it's not only just only in sports. Generally, every fabric of what we do in our society, even as a professional, I'm into marketing. I know some certain things. I have to get involved myself in each and every day to get by. Especially back when I was back in Nigeria. So it's unfortunate, but it's something that we have to deal with. It's just rather unfortunate that things like this keeps happening, and you just think that people will change and start doing things for the betterment of their fellow peers. It's just unfortunate.
Thank you very much, Mr. Theophilus. Thank you for joining us and letting us see your face and hear your voice today.
All right, thank you very much, man.
Thank you.
Keep the good work.
Thank you.
Thank you. So yes, it's been nice to hear from you guys. Lots of thoughts on this thing, honestly. I wish people would hear this the way they've heard all the propaganda from the organs.
Yes.
Unfortunately, it's not going to fly as far. I'm aware of that. But at
Mm-hmm.
least those of you that are here listening, you can share it with other people. Let them get more context as to what actually happened. And shout out to AB for still trying to say on that program that, oh, but next time they should communicate it with them before. These things should be known. Because if things are done ahead of time and are planned properly, then these things won't happen. The
Yeah.
NFF always seems to have an excuse for everything.
Mm-hmm.
When jersey does not come in time, there's an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
When players land the day of match and they ask them to play the same day they just landed, there's an
Mm-hmm.
excuse. If you just do your job right, there will be no reason for anything to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Ajibade is not going to say they've not paid if they've paid, and
Mm-hmm.
if it has been paid in full. So
Mm-hmm.
they can avoid all of this by
Yeah.
just doing the right things.
Mm.
They will go and clarify the ones they want to clarify. The ones that are still happening, they will just ignore as if nothing is happening.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, man. I can't wait for the day that the players are able to speak out and they feel
Mm-hmm.
empowered enough to actually speak out. And
Yeah.
hopefully, Nigerians understand and don't act anyhow, because sometimes when the players start to speak out, Nigerians, sometimes the way Nigerians talk, you just be shaking your head, you know. But it is what it is, man. Thank you to everyone that has listened to us. I appreciate you guys. Thank you to everyone that has engaged with us. Thank you to everyone that supported during the program. Much appreciated. If you haven't liked the video, please make sure you hit the like button. Even if you're watching a replay, please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. God bless you. I appreciate you. Smidlai, any final thoughts from you this evening?
Yeah. We're fine. So I just say that this can actually work fly. I'm pretty sure that if you do your editing and you edit this part, it's going to actually work fly. And it's going to get some places that is going to shake everything. So that's what Uche is trying to tell you, that that take and those every takes that you actually want, you can put them together, the video, short clip on social media, then this is going to fly. We need to communicate. They must know that we know all these things too. This is the year of social media now. At least you know that they cannot hide any information. So I'm actually what happy. Just to say something too, like it's off topic, please. Like for example, I said Nigeria got a player from Man City. I went to investigate. There was no player from Man City that is Nigerian. So it's not like before that you can just post something online that people can
Cannot
just
verify.
consume. You can go and verify now. There's internet. You can call people now. There's internet now. So I'm just trying to say that people, please do your work well. We'll not come out. We'll not call you out if you do your work well.
Yeah. And I want to say a big shout out to all the Super Falcons players. Shout out to the ones that trust me enough to give me certain information, because people always assume that I get information from one person. But in actual fact, I get information from a number of different players, because the players can't speak up and they know that I'm not going to throw them under the bus. They know that I'm somebody that's always fought for them and for their interest and for their rights. And what do I have to gain? Not much, but it's because I just want things to be done better. Shout out to all the players that continue to trust me with this information. I will continue to speak for them even when the rest of the country or the traditional media are not speaking for them. Sometimes people tell me that IoT guy complains too much. I've seen those comments on my social media. But what they don't realize is that when I come and talk about something, or I come and quote unquote complain about something, it's probably because a player has reached out to me and said, Ayo, can you please help us talk about this thing? Not just because I just feel like talking about it. I'm speaking up for the players because most of the time they cannot speak up for themselves. I wish the players all the best. I want to say a big thank you to everyone again for tuning in. Somebody here, I don't know if you just joined us, but you're going to drag me back. We have been discussing not the 100,000 from Tinubu. That was made clear, Naira equivalent. We're talking about their bonuses. Go back and watch the whole podcast if you did not catch that or listen properly. But yes, thank you very much, guys. Enjoy your evening. This has been the Niger FC podcast with me, IoT, and my co-host